Okay, well, I'll start kind of what I told the team. Proud of the team, finding a way to win a game. Obviously, kind of a tale of two halves, offensively, defensively throughout the night, the effort they played with. Shout out to Ryan Eckley, that punt unit. Jack making his first start as a snapper. That was effective play out of our punt group there. But obviously, the things we want to play more consistently with. I do think defensively, that was pretty good effort and was helped by our crowd. I thought our crowd was great tonight. Energy, student section packed. I mean, it was a great atmosphere, and always appreciate Spartan Nation supporting us like that. And now, you got to move forward. We'll take a deep look at this tape. There'll be a ton to improve on and learn from. And then, this is a first game where you got your game film out there. So offense, defense, special teams, the next opponent, they're going to take a deep look at it. And so we got to find the flaws and clean some things up. But overall, you found a way to win the game, and now we look to work and improve on it.
Jonathan, obviously a lot was said about the offensive line being remade and the run game going with a couple of younger, unproven guys. I guess, what do you think of their performance overall? Brandon and Michiagn both averaged more than 7 yards a carry, I think, and then mixing up the offensive line with all those different combinations.
Yep, especially the first half. I mean, early on, I thought the O-line set a tone in the run game. Michiagn had a great game. Brandon early with his touchdown run, and the stats show you kind of the physicality and what we want to be able to do in the run game. Want to find some more consistency though in the second half. Still, and that's run and pass. But overall, we did play more than 5 old linemen. You guys saw rotating like we talked about, and multiple backs carried it. Was overall pleased when you got 2 backs with that kind of average yards per carry.
Jonathan, what did you make of the secondary today? Because I know there were a few of those kind of big explosive plays, but for the most part, it seemed like it was pretty tame.
Was really happy with the secondary, the response, because we were going to challenge in the secondary and even the first drive, right? They hit the early deep ball kind of down the sideline. There was no panic defensively, kind of regrouped. I think that D-staff, Coach Rossi and that group did a nice job changing mix. Pressure, coverage, crowd helped us with the crowd noise. I thought we got around the quarterback a little bit. He had to get the ball out, and that definitely helped the secondary.
Jonathan, over here, when you look at the defense and not knowing exactly what Western Michigan is, are you able to have a sense of improvement and sort of the personality of this defense and where you may have some edges that you didn't a year ago?
I think the depth, the secondary depth, it was there because, again, those guys that played a lot tonight had to compete and win those jobs because we got some depth in the secondary. I think a second year in the system, the finer details, having a little bit more in the package this game one versus a year ago, I think that showed up. I think both Wayne and Jordan, I thought, played really well without watching, every snap defensively. Communication flying around. Jordan Hall, you saw him, great job hitting the quarterback, not always sacking him, but those guys getting home on pressures. So there's a lot to like defensively.
And on offense, I was just wondering, like with a guy like Nick, are you holding back on what you want to show in a game like this or at all?
Not in the first half, no. I mean, we threw him a touchdown. But, we got to continue to find, I think, both Nick and then you guys saw a little bit of Omari, what he can do. McCray had a decent over route catch. Those guys can do some stuff with the ball, and we got to continue to find more ways to just get more explosive. Let's face it, in the past game, I think we had, completion percentage is whatever, but the amount of yards with it is not where we want to be.
Jonathan, what did Western do in the second half, or what didn't your team do? I think you had 205 yards and 3 scores in the first half and 52 yards for most of the second.
Yeah, I give them some credit. I mean, they got some good coaches over there and made some, maybe it's halftime adjustments without diving into the tape schematics. I don't know ins and outs. I do think on the edge for them, they did a couple nice job on our tackles a couple of times. I mean, we had a couple deep shots open. We just couldn't get the ball off. So I'll give them credit, some of the pressure they were able to create on the quarterback.
Jonathan, we've heard Aiden talk about trying to improve mentally in that side of the game this offseason. When he comes into a game one against a defensive coordinator that's never called a game before, what sort of challenge is that on a quarterback, and how do you sort of see him trying to solve that puzzle in real time?
We didn't want to chase ghosts, so we want to play the first couple series and find out exactly what it was going to look like. So just trust in your eyes. We got a progression or the type of read, recognize the coverage if it's 1 high or 2 highs, make it kind of simpler early on to see what they were going to look like. And he had some good reps of that tonight, just going through a read, first read, second, got down to the third a couple of times. I think just again going back to the second half as an offense, whether we're talking protection, getting his eyes in the right spot, throwing it out on time, we got to find more consistency.
Jonathan, up the middle here. Coming into this game, what do you feel like in your game plan you guys accomplished just throughout, and just looking also like, hey, we can improve in week 2 on this?
Yeah, I think defensively limiting the explosive plays and getting around the quarterback. I thought we did a great job in the run game because they did, and both of them really could carry the ball, and so playing a quarterback run game, I thought they did a nice job of that. Offensively, early on, especially establishing the line of scrimmage, getting the younger, call them younger, but the sophomore back some carries and that was great to see. On the special team side, actually even on the kickoff part of things, the hang time he was doing, guys running down, Gash is making a couple early tackles. That was awesome to see. I go back to this word of consistency, execution, second half, offensively. We got to get ourselves in better down and distance. Generally, we got to get more explosive offensively and without watching this tape, because it's hard to sit there and go 8, 10, 12 play drives, especially in game ones. We didn't do it tonight.
Jonathan, I'm wondering you mentioned about the rotating of offensive linemen, but the decision to rotate them in pairs, is that something that Jim has done previously, or what is maybe the genesis and thought behind that?
I don't exactly know how it finished out playing all the time. I know at the tackle spot, Stan's really comfortable at left, Lepo at right, Connor can play both. I think there was something there at the tackle spot. And so we were the tackles were going to rotate, but the guards were a little bit separate. And the other one was in that mix is Luka Vincic. He just has a slight foot thing earlier in the week, and so we kind of held. He's still going to be in this mix, rotating as well.
Coach, was it any thought at the end of the game after the defense got the stop on the Western Michigan side of the ball, 2 minutes left, of maybe trying to go for it, or was it just let's just take a knee and move on to the next game?
Yeah, at that point we felt like taking a knee and the game was in hand. I'm really just disappointed in the previous drive. We'd want to find a way to get a couple first downs and just call it then, but hand the ball off twice, turns into a 3rd and 5, whatnot. Like to be more effective on the first and second down, so we don't put Alessio kind of in that spot on 3rd and medium to have to throw it to get a first down.
Just the game day experience, a little different. Want to get your perspective as being ground zero. You have the fireworks, the A-10 flying over. I know you're locked in for the game, but what was that like? Can you give us a little insight?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, I go back to starting with the Spartan Walk and how that thing was packed, the energy of the crowd. Student section was pretty much full as even pregame warm-ups is going on. I thought the new additions of just the energy, fireworks, even the coming out, thunderstruck's going, we get the smoke, and I don't even know the exact detail of the CO2s and whatnot. We were in the locker room for any kind of flyover, but I think you could feel that, especially early on, of kind of this new energy of the place because the fan experience is vitally important.
When you have the success you did in the run games, specifically in the first half, and considering that was an area where you lacked in last year, and you said it was an area you've improved in fall camp, how fulfilling is that?
It's good, especially for game one, right? We're talking about just a small sample size, and first game to see some of that. But it's going to be a long road, a long season, finding ways to keep that going. It's not always going to be easy. We got to keep on improving, even if whatever Michiagn likes his game, he goes for over 100, whatnot. He's got to keep on tightening up his details. Because I go back to this, it's like game ones. That's like the one sample size everybody's got to talk about for about 7 days, and so the coaches are doing the same thing, analyzing this thing. We got to keep working to get better.
Coach, you talked about the run game just now. We saw Todd Tolliver got some touches in the 3rd and 4th quarter. In which situations do you plan to utilize him this season?
He can do it all like those other two are. It's tough to rotate all three maybe equally, and so you getting him in the game and getting some carries was good to see. I know he got in a decent amount on special teams as well. And it's a long season, man, and those guys keep battling and going. There's not something specific he maybe is lacking and the other two have that we feel like we can't put him in the game. It's just tough to rotate 3 guys evenly.
Jonathan, just wondering how sort of you came away with everything with all the kicking uncertainty. I mean, we see a little bit of Blake, we see a lot of Ryan and everything. Just how did that all go in your evaluation of that at the end of it? And I guess, you hoping, I mean, does it look like that'll get smoother for you, I guess, a little bit moving forward here?
Yeah, I was obviously happy with Blake. He bangs him through on the extra points. He would been our guy with the one field goal Eckley attempts a little bit longer, and so we felt like he gave us the best chance on that. But if it had been closer, Blake can go. The other two we're hoping to get healthy sooner than later.
The numbers on defense is something that we've heard from you and Joe Rossi and everything. It seems like that showed up tonight, a ton of guys playing. Just to see something that you think can be a strength sort of play out that way, what would that mean for you guys?
Yeah, it does. It feels good. I think it feels good to that locker room in there. A lot of guys playing a lot of snaps, different rotations. You guys saw the packages coming in, D linemen rotating almost every other play. Some of that's strategic in regards when they substitute, but we feel like we got some depth on that side, and they play really hard together.
The one thing about the offensive line is those drives were long drives. And I'm wondering how much, one, that obviously is something that you guys want to do, but how much did you feel like that helped the freshness of the defense throughout the second half?
Yeah, I think, or especially when you look at the time of possession throughout the night, and that's a two-sided thing. Offense possessing the ball, defense getting off the field, but to have it close to 37 minutes is a total advantage, and we want to be able to do that. At the same time, I'm not shy to say we would love to score from 60 yards out, and it turns into a quick series if we can get some of that going. Thanks, guys.